Hello everyone, thank you for clicking on my video. My name is Jules and I'm documenting our family of three's journey to financial freedom. My husband and I have one toddler and one very opinionated black cat, and we live in the Carolinas. Before we jump into the debt confession, I wanted to first give some context, as this is both my debt confession and my introduction to my YouTube channel. Personal finance is personal, and we all have different journeys and starting places and resources at our disposal, and it's important to me that I share that up front with you. My husband spent 6 years on active duty in the military and is now a member of the reserves, and I am currently a stay-at-home mom, although I worked in banking prior to becoming a stay-at-home mom. My husband is entering his last semester of community college and is applying to nursing school, so we are operating on a very limited income until December when he graduates. We are basically living off of our savings. This was a planned life circumstance for us. We saved aggressively for years while my husband was active duty because we knew things would get tight after his transition, and that's, I think we did not save as much as we should have. We were operating off of our 2020-2021 living expenses when we set our savings goals, and obviously 2025 living expenses look very different than they did in the before times. Essentially, the other part of our income situation right now is that we have paused my husband's GI Bill benefits, which includes the living stipend that was the backbone of our income until May of this year. This is because nursing school costs far more out of pocket than community college. So we are cash flowing this final semester of school, and my husband will be getting a full-time job after graduating in December and basically working full-time until he starts nursing school in the fall of 2026. I am also a part-time gig worker, so I drive for Uber Eats and DoorDash as often as our schedule allows. And I've also been applying to several online tutoring places and part-time remote jobs to hopefully leverage my degree and bring in some extra funds. One more sidebar about the income that I'm realizing that I neglected to mention: my husband does get a small disability check from the military every month as well, so that is about $350, and he also does get pay for being a reservist. He just only gets paid when he goes to drill, so he's actually there currently and is doing about 4 days out of this week, so he'll get paid for that time, and he also gets mileage because his reserve unit is out of state. So we do have some income coming in. It's just way less consistent than it was when we had the GI Bill, and also we are having to supplement that limited income with our savings. I hope that makes sense. Our living expenses are also very low because we live with my husband's family. So I'm just doing the debt confession today. I'm not going into our budget just yet, but the next time I do a budget video, which should hopefully be coming out in the next couple of days, you'll see that on our budget, that our living expenses are very low comparatively, which is again part of why we're able to make this work. And while some people might balk at the idea of living with their in-laws, ours are amazing, and having them so involved in our son's life has been a healthy and positive experience for all of us. My parents also live in town, which means we have 2 sets of grandparents within 30 minutes of each other, and believe me, guys, we do not take this for granted for even a second. We quite literally could not do what we are doing right now without them. We are incredibly blessed, and it is an amazing gift that we have, that our son is the only grandchild and currently, and that we have our family so close together. So we don't take that for granted at all. All that said, let's get into our debt numbers. I just pulled these yesterday, so they should still be pretty much accurate. Our first debt is going to be our Chase credit card. This has a starting balance of $361.86 with a minimum payment of $88.77. Yeah, this card is one that we do plan on knocking out. The reason that this is kind of a weird balance is that there is a My Chase plan on it currently, which basically is where instead of being charged interest on that purchase, we're only being charged a small monthly fee. It's like $1.40, and then we have a minimum payment for that plan added onto our normal minimum payment. If that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. If you have a Chase card, you're probably familiar with that, you know, kind of how that works. And then we have our Discover credit card. So this is our big credit card. This is our big boy. This one is at $3,216.60. And our minimum payment is normally around $64. We've been working on paying this off pretty aggressively, so the minimum payment like last month was $69. This month it's down to $64, so I think it's going to keep being a little, hopefully it continues to go down. This card is also at a 4.99% interest until March of 2026. So luckily we've been able to make good progress on this card because we are only getting charged about like $9 I think a month in interest last time I checked. So we are making very good headway on this, and it is our goal to have this paid off before this lower interest rate expires. Also, as a sidebar to this credit card, these are our only 2 credit card debts. After paying off both of these cards, we plan on closing them. I am not someone who is capable of using credit cards responsibly. My husband probably is, but he has no interest in doing the credit card thing. His debit card works fine, and that's good enough for him. And I'm not someone who's capable of using credit cards responsibly. It's taken me over a decade to come to that conclusion and to be okay with that. And I refuse to put myself in the position of restarting this debt-free journey for a 3rd time. This is the 3rd time that we have, and me specifically, have been back in credit card debt, and I'm not going to do this again. So once we have these 2 cards paid off, they are done, and we are going to be done with credit cards. These are the only 2 credit cards that we have. My husband doesn't have any cards. Again, he's just not interested. And as soon as I have these paid off, I am going to close them, and they're going to be a thing of the past, and I am very, very excited for that. Then our next debt is going to be our car payment. So we do have 1 car payment. Currently that balance is sitting at $11,065.24 with a minimum monthly payment of $314.35. This interest rate as well is a 3.14%. So we bought this car back when interest rates were very much in our favor. It is a 2022 Toyota Corolla. We are the first owners, and we love her to death. She has been very good to us, and as we are very excited to own her outright and have her be ours and not Toyota's. So after we pay the credit cards off, we are going to be attacking this with gusto. I also did look, and the vast majority of this payment goes to the principal balance. I think we pay somewhere around $26 to $29 a month in interest, somewhere around there, and the rest of it goes to principal. So this number consistently goes down every month, which is nice. And then we have my student loans. So again, my husband does not have any student loans. He's using his GI Bill for nursing school, which is fabulous and amazing, and I'm very grateful for that. These student loans are also for my master's degree. So we paid off my undergrad loans before I went back to do my master's degree. That was something we talked about ad nauseum, is that we were not going to stack student loans. So I was not going to pursue a master's degree until we paid off my undergrad loans, because we were not going to be on the hook for a massive balance, basically. So these are just for my master's degree. I have a master's in English and creative writing. And the loan balance for that master's degree is $32,058.04 as of yesterday. And right now I have a minimum payment of $0 because I am one of the 8 million borrowers in the SAVE plan. Their interest rates on these range anywhere from like from 4 to 7%. And essentially, unfortunately, we do not have the income at the moment to attack these with gusto, and we also have other priorities. So the student loans are going to sit where they are right now. They are going to accrue interest over the next year, because again, the issue with the SAVE plan right now, from my understanding and to my knowledge, is that interest accrual will start back, and by the time July 2026 rolls around, I have to get myself into a new plan. I have to enroll in a new repayment plan, which is fine. I am okay with these accruing interest over the next year until we can kind of get our feet under us. It is our hope that we can get these paid off in the next year, by next summer. This time next summer, we should be credit card debt free if we hustle our butts off, and believe me, we are. And then we want to go after the Corolla next to free up this $314 a month that we can then roll into the student loans. Again, the student loans, I mean, they are federal student loans, so like the interest rate isn't completely horrific, but again, it's the largest debt balance that we have. And of course, I did not total this up. Hold on one second. Let me see if I have, just so we can see what the total balance is here. Crazy, actually. Oh, wow. I mean, in some ways, I am, yeah, wow, that's a big number. Okay, so our total debt right now is $46,701.74. Ooh, that's a big number. Although, I will say I am glad to see this number is under 50,000. This time last year it was right about 50,000, and it was like very shocking to us and has really lit a fire under us to get this debt knocked out, paid off, which is part of why I am starting this channel. I find myself in need of some extra accountability. Right now, as we go after these debts, we have made some pretty serious lifestyle changes over the last year or so, and I want to continue that. I love to watch budgeting videos here on YouTube, and I thought that I would try my hand at filming a few. So yeah, this is where we're starting. We have been doing a lot of spiritual and faith-based work the last few months, trying to get ourselves in the right headspace to be good stewards of our money. And part of that is getting out of debt. We are very motivated for many different reasons that I'll probably go into in a separate video to get out of this debt and to not owe anyone else another penny, hopefully for a very, very long time, if forever. So thank you so much for watching. I know it was a little, I'm very nervous about doing this, but I'm also very excited. I'm also gonna apologize for the weird shadows. I'm filming this at like 7 p.m. at night because my son just went to bed and my husband's out of town, and this was the time that I had to do it, so I know that that's probably annoying. I'm so sorry. And oh, one last thing, I also wanted to say this debt tracker, I made this in Canva, and I also uploaded it as a freebie in my Ko-fi page. So if you go into the description of this video, you can download your own copy of this. I pre-filled my debt names in here, but you can absolutely, it's a blank version that you'll be getting, so you can just write in your amounts. And then going forward, I'm going to be using this to track the dates, the payments that we make, and the balance afterwards, just so we can have a visual representation of the extra debt payments we're making and how they're making an impact on our debt as a whole. But yes, I am so excited that you're here. Thank you again for your kind words and encouragement. I'm sure there will be that we can all be in community with each other. So I'm going to stop rambling and end the video here, but I hope everyone has a great day or night whenever you're watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.